A deer hunter in 1940 reaches into his pocket and pulls out a gold nugget. Standing outside a rural California general store, showing off his 4-point buck, he casually mentions finding this shiny rock on a hillside, in a patch of strange red gravel. One man in the crowd knows exactly what that hunter has stumbled upon. His heart races, because 6 years earlier, his friend, a lonely prospector named Little Charlie, committed suicide, haunted by a fortune he'd found and lost in a winter storm. That red gravel, that hillside. The hunter had just rediscovered what Little Charlie died searching for. Why does a fortune in gold, found twice and confirmed by multiple witnesses, remain lost to this day, nearly a century later? This is the true story of Little Charlie's lost placer, proving that sometimes the greatest treasures lie exposed on a California hillside, waiting for someone to simply look down. Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join us as we explore the rugged landscapes, uncover hidden historical gems, and dive deep into the lost gold legends and gold mining history of this iconic region. Please leave a like or comment. This is very helpful. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. In spring 1931, a 16-year-old boy with gold fever wandered onto the Stone Place in western Tuolumne County, California. He carried a gold pan and big dreams, unaware he was trespassing on territory claimed by one of California's most peculiar prospectors. Charles Pritchett, Little Charlie, was a wizened man barely 5 feet tall. At 48, he looked decades older, weathered by hard living. He'd come from Missouri to work as a cowhand, but gold transformed him into a solitary prospector who carried a gun to discourage claim jumpers. The teenager should have been run off immediately. But something about the boy softened Little Charlie's hostility. Instead of threats, he offered a greeting. What happened next changed everything. As the boy watched, Little Charlie panned gravel from a water hole. Even before the pan was clean, several small nuggets gleamed. That single pan held $5 in gold, nearly a week's wages in Depression-era California. No wonder Little Charlie had quit cowboying. An unlikely friendship formed. Over 2 years, the teenager visited regularly. Little Charlie, starved for companionship, shared stories from his wandering years. Then one day, the boy watched Little Charlie pull a half-ounce nugget from his pan, spectacular by any measure. The teenager's excitement was obvious. But Little Charlie just shrugged. "Shucks, I reckon you'd really got excited if you seen the chispas I washed out a couple winters back." With that casual comment, Little Charlie revealed a secret that would haunt everyone who heard it. Little Charlie's story began on a cloudy winter morning around 1932. He'd heard rumors about a rich placer deposit on Bear Mountain's western slope, a 20-mile range in Calaveras County rising to 2,000 feet. It was wild country, sparsely populated, covered in oak and chaparral. Little Charlie set out alone with his gold pan and pick. For hours he hiked rolling terrain, testing gravel wherever he found water. By 2 o'clock, after covering 8 miles, he headed back. The weather was deteriorating. Within half an hour, rain transformed into a torrential downpour. Little Charlie sought shelter under an oak, but standing still dropped his body temperature dangerously. He had to keep moving. Hillsides became waterways, rivulets carved temporary channels. Little Charlie pushed forward, head down against wind and rain, climbing a side hill. That's when he noticed something odd, a patch of iron-stained red gravel. A rivulet ran across it, and in that rushing water, yellow gleamed. He reached down and picked up a 1-ounce gold nugget. Looking closer, he found another, then another. The rain, cold, exhaustion, all vanished. Little Charlie began working the deposit with his pick, scratching away gravel, tossing rocks, digging furrows to direct storm runoff across the gold-bearing material. The rain became his partner, a natural hydraulic operation washing away lighter material while concentrating heavy gold. For hours, as darkness fell and the storm raged, little Charlie picked nuggets with his bare hands. They were everywhere, coarse, heavy pieces filling his pockets. Here were the riches he'd dreamed of finding. He had it made. Finally, as darkness made work impossible, little Charlie left his fortune. He stumbled through inky darkness, using only the southeasterly wind as a compass. Hours passed before he found his car, soaking wet but jubilant, pockets loaded with gold. Tomorrow he would return, properly claim his discovery, and finally achieve the security he'd sought. Except he never found it again. "You know, Bobby," little Charlie told the teenager, "I hunted for that red gravel patch for the next 2 years. Never did find it again." 2 solid years searching Bear Mountain's western slope, every ravine, every hillside. But the topography defeated him. Every slope looked identical. The combination of his excitement during discovery, too focused on gold to note landmarks, and storm conditions obscuring visibility meant he'd lost all sense of location. He knew the general area, could narrow it to several square miles, but in that wilderness of similar terrain, the specific hillside might as well have been on another continent. "I'm still a-hunting it off and on," little Charlie added, defeat unmistakable in his voice. The obsession consumed him. The knowledge that fortune existed within walking distance yet remained impossibly out of reach created a crushing psychological burden. In spring 1934, experiencing deep despondency, little Charlie borrowed a .22 rifle from his young friend, claiming he needed it for nuisance squirrels. Instead, he used it to end his life. He was 51 years old. The secret should have died with him. But the teenager never forgot the story or the haunted look in little Charlie's eyes. 6 years passed. The boy, now married, lived in Valley Springs, miles north of Bear Mountain. Little Charlie's story had faded, relegated to might have been. Then in fall 1940, near hunting season's end, he stood outside Pliller and Lily's general store when a car arrived with a 4-point buck on the fender. The proud hunter, a stranger, eagerly displayed his trophy. When asked where he got the deer, the hunter pointed toward Bear Mountain. "Over there, in those mountains." Then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a small gold nugget, handing it to little Charlie's old friend. "Here's something else I found over there, too, on the side of a hill in a patch of red-colored gravel. There was a little ditch that the water had washed down through, and this was laying in the ditch. Do you think it's gold?" Time stopped. Red gravel, a hillside, a water-carved ditch. "Sure it's gold," he replied, voice carefully neutral. The hunter seemed pleased. "Well, it will make me a nice souvenir of this hunting trip. I wonder how it got that far up the hill. A bird must have dropped it there. It must have come from one of those creeks around there." He pocketed the nugget and returned attention to the deer. The buck was the real trophy. Gold was just curiosity. The man who knew the truth said nothing. He didn't explain that the hunter had just rediscovered little Charlie's lost fortune and walked away from a potential bonanza without any idea of its significance. Instead, he kept silent, already planning search expeditions. Little Charlie's former friend made several prospecting trips to Bear Mountain's western slope, searching for iron-stained red gravel. He examined hillsides and ravines, looking for anything matching the descriptions. He never found it. The same geographic confusion that defeated little Charlie proved equally frustrating. The area was too vast, terrain too uniform, location too elusive. Why does this fortune remain lost after being found twice and confirmed by multiple witnesses? The answer lies in geography's cruel trick. The deposit exists. Little Charlie's pockets full of nuggets were real. The hunter's souvenir was genuine. The iron-stained red gravel is somewhere on Bear Mountain's western slope, probably still yielding nuggets with every good rain. But landscape defeated 3 determined searchers across 4 decades. In terrain where every hillside looks identical, where oak and chaparral blur features, where ravines repeat endlessly, one specific red gravel patch becomes invisible despite being completely exposed. Little Charlie found it in a storm and lost it in darkness. The hunter found it by accident and didn't recognize it. The teenager's grown-up friend searched 35 years and came up empty. The deposit kept its secret by being one hillside among thousands. The fortune is still there, waiting, just as it's been waiting for nearly a century. All it takes is one person looking down at exactly the right spot. Will you be the one? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.